Message your past. You will remember from the Meet the Architect section that the architect experienced a significant transformation when he went back into his past, as the adult he is now, and comforted the child who was hurting. This is a very powerful tool, often used in psychotherapy, as well as ancient traditions and storytelling. However, this is a very challenging and advanced thing to do. By the end of your work with the game of authenticity, you will be a master at quickly and effectively intervening at any point in your past and dealing with the child who is hurting. To get there, we will need to start with the baby steps. Consider this. Even though you may lack certain material possessions or the lifestyle that you want, when we consider the dimension of experience, you are more advanced than you have ever been. This means that there is very likely at least one thing that has changed about you in the recent past. Take a moment to consider where you were last year, on this day, or at this time of year. What were you struggling with? What have you learned or changed about yourself since then? If you are unable to think of anything, that's okay. It means that you are in a period of stagnation in your life, which happens from time to time, on the journey to authenticity. Thankfully, by playing the game of authenticity, you will interrupt the stagnation and enter into a new period of growth. If you are unable to think of one thing that has changed about you in the last year, go back another year, and another year, until you find something that has changed, for the good. i.e., something you learned that has made your life better. If you need a moment to think, pause the video and continue when you have found one. Now, take a moment to imagine if someone had sat you down 1 year ago and explained to you what you now know to be true. What difference might that have made? Most people are starved of good, effective mentorship. This is both a consequence of a general lack of authenticity in the world, and of the shielding that we put up to protect ourselves from others, which inadvertently blocks access to us by the kinds of mentors who may help. This challenge will allow you to play the role of mentor for yourself. Obviously, you cannot time travel and so cannot sit down with that version of you. However, what you can do is imagine that you are sending a message to someone you are mentoring. While we are not time traveling, today you can practice being a more effective mentor to yourself. In other words, message your past. It is up to you which medium you choose to send this message. Perhaps you want to write a letter by hand, or on the computer. Perhaps you wish to record a video message or an audio message. Choose the medium that resonates most with you, right now. Start recording your thoughts and imagine what you would say to yourself back then. What did you need to hear? What didn't you understand yet? Who were you trying to be? What have you learned since then? Set a timer and ensure that you spend at least 30 minutes on this exercise. It may be challenging, and if you need support, reach out to the community for guidance or inspiration. When you have completed the challenge, we ask that you submit your proof to the community. This can be done by simply pasting the message, or uploading the video or audio message, to the group. Make sure you use the hashtags #ChallengeSubmission and #MessageYourPast. If it is too scary for you to post the full message, we understand. However, we will need to see proof that you have completed the challenge. So, perhaps you could blur out the content that is too personal, or simply take a photograph of the page, or a screenshot of the recorded message on your phone, to let us see that you have completed the challenge. However, we encourage you to treat this message as if it is going to be seen by the community, even if you don't post the full message in your proof submission. This is not to impose anxiety on you, but simply to encourage you to cut it down. Try to avoid self-aggrandizing or self-validating language. Avoid self-promotion and other things which are generally frowned upon in community spaces. Ask yourself, would I be comfortable with the community seeing this letter? You never know, you may even feel that someone in the community might need that advice too, and feel compelled to share it for their sake. If it takes a couple of attempts, this is a good sign. It should not be perfect first time. In this challenge, you're acting as a mentor for your past self. If you were to be mentoring a stranger, or a close friend who desperately needed your help, wouldn't you take care to consider your words and edit the message to be as impactful as possible? Do the same here. Here is an example, in the form of a sample from a message our architect wrote, using his phone's notes app.
I know you're really struggling right now, and I know it's been tough. And I know that right now you can't see the light at the end of this tunnel. But I want you to know that there is. I'm here, 1 year later, and I've not got all of the things that you want. Not everything has changed. It's not picture perfect. It's still life. It's still hard. But I have learned so much in the time ahead of you. I want you to know that you can learn that too. So here's what I've learned. I've learned that it's really important to budget your money, and not just chase after more of it. To consider carefully where your money is going. It is something that you can't afford to let slide. There are 2 things that are crucial in your budget. 1. Regular attention. 2. Regular giving. You must give 10% of your income away to charity, those in need, or to support people who don't expect it. It is hard sometimes, and you'll come up with all kinds of excuses. But trust me, every single time I am in trouble financially, it's because I've forgotten to be generous, and so slipped into a mindset of, there's not enough. When I give, that mindset shifts to I am abundant, which makes me act with more confidence, which leads to more success at work, which leads to more money. I've also learned that without giving regular, disciplined attention to something, it will wither and shrink. Just like watering a plant, you must regularly give your budget your attention and care. I know that right now you think you don't know how to do it, but it really is as simple as starting, then practicing, then mastering. You got this. Now, the next thing I've learned over the past year is,
When you have completed the challenge, submit your proof to the community and then continue to the final sample challenge in this tutorial.